The Honda Jazz has always occupied a somewhat under the radar yet very practical area of the car market. This latest generation Jazz arrives with an even greater focus on efficiency than before, without losing sight of what makes the Jazz so popular in the first place: a practical interior that is flexible and offers a decent amount more space than a regular hatchback of a similar size. But with the rise of the crossover and the compact SUV, the Jazz's job is tougher than ever. So today we're going to be driving it and we're going to be seeing just how practical it is inside and whether or not it's a car that you should still be considering. The Honda Jazz definitely has a cuter design than before and seems to have taken a little bit of inspiration from the smaller electric Honda E. At the front we've got some cool looking daytime running lights, while around the back the slim rear lights do help to give the Jazz a somewhat futuristic appearance. The Jazz overall has quite a boxy design, but after all, this is a car based around practicality. The forward part of the Jazz's interior has quite a futuristic feel to it, what with the large screen in the middle, the secondary screen ahead of you, and loads of shiny areas. The combination of materials is good though. We've got some nice soft touch rubbers up here, and also this section here, which opens up, is really useful and it's flanked either side by cup holders and a central cup holder in the middle. So if you are a coffee drinker or a tea drinker, you've got loads of options with where to keep your cups. One thing I would add is that the orientation of this screen is a little bit of a pain. It's quite flat, which means that when you're driving and you're seating in your normal position, you have to lean across in order to operate it correctly. It would be nice to just have it ever so slightly tilted towards the driver, but having said that, it means that both driver and passenger get a fair share of the screen. Elsewhere, the main controls are really good. I like the chunky knobs for the heating and ventilation, and you've got loads of charging options down the bottom with 2 USB sockets and one 12-volt socket. All in all, quite a good place to be. The benefit that you get from the Jazz's upright boxy shape is that there's actually quite a lot of headroom in here. Now I'm just under 6 foot and I've got loads of room for my feet and plenty of room for my head, and there's some good knee room here too. Spaciousness, well, it's not that brilliant. We've got some pockets behind the seats and the door bins at the side are quite small, so you're not going to be able to take too much stuff with you back here. It is a 3-seater, but this central seat is very small, so you're going to feel a little bit squidged in if you are sitting 3 abreast. But you also have ISOFIX points, which are nice there, and USB-C chargers in the middle. This car in particular has some nice upholstery, though it does kind of remind me of your trousers from school. Something that Honda has always done really well is space and practicality, and that's really evident in the Honda Jazz. We've got 304 litres of boot space back here, and that's more than you'll find in a Fiesta, for example. And underneath there's a really handy section which has a plastic lined area, so I think you could put things that are a little bit grubby, like boots or maybe a football, trainers, things you want to keep out from this carpeted section. And you also get Honda's excellent magic seats, which means you can tip them forward and up, and you can put taller items in the main section of the car, useful for if you're taking a sunflower, for instance. The Honda Jazz is all about easy, hassle-free driving. These days, it's only available as a hybrid, and that combines a 1.5 litre petrol engine with electric motors and a very small battery. It's a regular hybrid too, so you don't need to plug it in. And what it tries to do is use the energy that would otherwise be lost during deceleration, puts it into that small battery and reuses it at slower speeds. So when you're around town or you're driving in urban environments, the Jazz will be able to travel on fully electric power for quite a lot of the time. And in fact, when you're just moving around a car park, it drives just like an EV. What's it like when you're driving at great speeds? Well, there's 106 brake horsepower driving this car, which isn't a lot. And it's sent through to the wheels via a CVT gearbox. Now, I'm not a huge fan of a CVT gearbox because that's why. Any press of the accelerator is usually met with quite a lot of noise, and that just means that you drive it in a far more careful manner than you would do with other cars, but you could argue that makes it more efficient as a result. CVT aside, the driving experience in the Jazz is very relaxed and comfortable, and because it should be able to do around 60 mpg, it's not going to cost the earth to run either. I really like the steering in the Jazz actually. It's got some nice weight to it, and I like the fact that this steering wheel just isn't too thick, so you feel like you've got a nice point of contact between yourself and the car. The brakes aren't too bad, but fortunately in the Jazz you also get a dedicated B mode like you would do in an EV, and when you switch into that you're getting more regenerative braking, so when you lift off the throttle the car starts reversing the electric motors, and that in turn slows the car down, while also harnessing the energy that you would otherwise lose through that slowing process. Visibility is by and large quite good. The rear screen is really big, and that means that when you look back and over the shoulder or just through into the rear view mirror, you've got a really clear view. I'm not too sure about these A-pillars, mind. They are a little bit clunky and intrusive, and even though there is some glass in between, you just find yourself looking around them from time to time, particularly when you're entering the roundabouts or you are approaching a junction. The ride quality is also good. The Jazz has a slightly more comfort-focused suspension setup than you might get with some of its rivals, but that means that as a result, it's comfier and it rolls over those lumps and bumps in the road with a little bit more comfort than you'd find with some of its rivals. Yet again, the Honda Jazz has managed to deliver what is quite an all-encompassing experience. It's practical inside, it's really nicely made too, and it's even more efficient than ever. Set within the compact class, alright, it might not be the most exciting of vehicles, but it really delivers where it counts. And if you're after a car that isn't going to cost the earth to run, but still has loads of room inside and is easy to park and live with, then the Jazz, I think, should be looking pretty high up your list. Thank you for watching this motors.co.uk new car review on the hybrid Honda Jazz. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, leave us a like below and let us know in the comment section what you think of the Jazz. Would you go for this car, or would you pick another hybrid altogether? And since you're here, please remember to subscribe to the motors.co.uk YouTube channel. If you hit that bell icon each time we upload a new video, you'll get a notification.